I wanted to ask about when the ideation phase for the different gameplay types in the game, because we recently spoke to Team Asobi behind Astrobot, and they have a lot of different gameplay types, and it was they come up with ideas quickly, implement them, and see if it works. Was it a similar process for this game?
To be honest here, let's be honest here. This game creating different mechanics is a little bit more like complexity than that's because like the amount of fidelity of that was actually the hardest. I mean, I love the Astrobot, don't get me wrong, but yes, we have a lot of ideas out there, and as long as they fit the story and follow the vision, we go with them. But that is definitely the hardest part of a Hazelight game, to because it's easy to prototype different mechanics, but to take them to a level where they feel really nice and polished, especially at this fidelity and animation and everything. That's actually the biggest thing I'm proud of the team, that we pulled this off together. It's crazy. I mean, we're just jumping around this build, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. A lot of stuff.
How much gets left on the cutting room floor?
I mean, if I would guess, like maybe 20-30% gets taken away. We become better as a team to know, like, can we polish this or not? Because again, like, you need to find mechanics that work and that feels nice. It's not just like a couple of minutes and out. It needs to feel really good to play with. And again, with this type of game where the camera is down and you have real characters and it's like almost like a AAA experience almost, then it needs to, because when the player, and I don't blame them, when they play the shooting, the racing, the whatever, you need to feel like that type of game, the combat. And you just expect it to be like, oh, this is okay, now it needs to play like a, I don't know, like a race game, or this is combat, or I need to be, and you just expect it as a gamer, and you should, but that's also the tough part,
I wanted to ask about the difficulty of conveying how a mechanic controls very quickly without breaking up the action. How much time is spent saying it has to be quicker than that? You've got to know immediately what to do.
A lot of time. I mean, that's what we focus on a lot. Our mechanics, that they feel nice, tight, complement each other, that all the mechanics in the game feels like they don't what do you say, come into each other,
conflict with each other.
Conflict with each other. Like there's a lot of stuff behind that. There's a lot of back and forward, and also like the best scenario where we also have bosses, and you want those mechanics to work with those bosses. There's so much I'm not gonna say everything becomes harder when you do it in co-op, because you want it to. Because if you had a cool weapon or something, you can do it on a boss and that's it. But when they co-op, you have to okay, what do I do? What do you do? Because we don't want it just to be a split screen co-op where you're just shooting, like do the same thing. We don't want that. I mean, we have you want, I do this, you do that. I do this, you do. We have moments where you do the same thing, but most of the time it's like my mechanic and your mechanic, and you want them to complement each other in a good way toward the boss. Like you played some bosses today, like where you have different stuff,
Yeah, like the parking.
Exactly.
Like that.
This is a good one.
Yeah, very good. On that, you say it takes a lot of time, but the speed at which Hazelight has produced games over the last decade is kind of unimaginable. How is that?
Yeah, it's because I think we just have a very good pipelines and system how to work. I think also from my background as a movie, we have maybe someone said to me, you guys have a movie way of approach of doing things. Maybe that makes us more, I don't know, more effective, or I don't know, maybe we're more focused. I don't know. We just we have an idea what to do, and then we go with it. We fuck shit up without fucking up, man.
I wanted to ask, specifically It Takes Two seemed to be such a big mainstream hit, whereas previously gamers and gaming press knew who Hazelight was, but It Takes Two just became this gigantic success with more casual players. Did that impact the development of this game, knowing that audience is so much broader?
But let me tell you this. Actually, it's funny that you say A Way Out has sold 11 million units. 11, which is huge numbers.
Massive.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Brothers, 10 million. So it's to be honest, the games we have done have reached a lot of people. But of course, It Takes Two is next level. That's almost 23 million, which is crazy. The crazy numbers. I don't even know what this will do, but hopefully it will do well as well. I'm confident it's a great game. But to affect it, in a way, yes, but no. Because every game has its own thing. Obviously you see it's a Hazelight game, but we do what we want. We're not like, oh, they like this, let's do that. They like that, let's do this. We're just, okay, this is what this game needs. If this is, sometimes I say the game tells us where it wants to go. You know what I mean? So of course there are some stuff, but if you listen too much and if you are too like, oh, what does people want, then you lose your own voice. And I think you sense it in our games. You sense the passion when you're playing them, when we have created them. You sense that, I think.
I was surprised because I felt that from what I've played, it's more difficult than It Takes Two. It's more challenging.
I mean, see, that's another thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more difficult, but it's still like, I know a colleague of mine played it with his son 6 years and it worked out fine. But yeah, it's a little bit more challenging. And that's again something that if we would like, oh, let's try to adapt to the It Takes Two. No, it's like this game felt like it could be a little bit more difficult, but it's not too difficult. Our games should be always about progressing forward and following the narrative. It's more like you're failing, but it's not too hard, you know.
From the opening cutscene, the game seems to set out a story about the value of creative works.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a pretty staunchly anti-AI message, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
very,
yeah.
very timely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the creeping spectre of AI on the development side of games?
It's a combination. It's both scary and very exciting, and there's definitely kind of like it's definitely part of split fiction and part of the story. But I have to say, the main story is about the friendship of our characters, but it's definitely there. About AI, I believe at the end of the day, whatever new technology that comes, you should work with it and not against it. You know, like when they say Darwin, the people who survives are not the one that are strongest, or not the one that what does it say? Not the one that are strongest, or is the one that can adapt. You know. So at the end of the day, we need to adapt to it. You know, like I see, so if it's part of our industry, then we should see how to implement it so we get greater games. Period. That's it. You know. But I have to say that in the gaming industry, we've worked with AI quite early. We've had like AI. We've had. Where we can generate worlds and generate stuff. So we've been actually quite early with this AI. Like we have AI companions, AI stuff. So we actually, in gaming, AI has been part of it quite long time. So we should, in a way, not be too afraid of it, you know. But of course, I can understand the fact that some people like could lose their job and everything. But that goes to every new technology. The change will happen, and you know, bad stuff and good stuff will come out of it, you know. So, but it's inevitable. I mean, we cannot do anything about it. You cannot just close your eyes because it is here and it will be part of our world. I personally believe that AI will be bigger impact on the world than internet had before it came. That's what I think. You know, in eventually.
Yeah. So
and it will not only affect gaming. That's for sure. Yeah.
So it's more of an additive tool rather than something that replaces. Especially from the creative point of view, I think that's where a lot of creatives
I
are
can't
worried.
really answer that, to be honest. Like, it's hard to know. We don't know. It's such a fast stuff happens so fast. But still, it's way. I mean, you see some examples AI in gaming, but it's way. I mean, it's I would say it's a long time until you actually can use it in an actual development. Right now, I mean, I would say at least not at our place. You know, maybe others can do it, but yeah. But I'm hearing, you know, I'm hearing that this is a subject that is a bit sensitive, so to speak.